So we see in verse 7, they're complaining against the Most High. And we're seeing here in verse 7, he hears your complaints against Yahuwah. But look what Moshe said to them. He says, but what are we that you complain against us? You see, this is a man that was humble. This is humbleness. He wasn't high and mighty. He wasn't taking on this responsibility like he's the Almighty. No, this was a man, once again, he's saying, I'm nothing. Who am I? Who are we? He's saying, me and Aaron, we're nothing. He says, but what are we that you complain against us? Also, Moshe said, this shall be seen when Yahuwah gives you meat to eat in the evening, and in the morning bread to the full. For Yahuwah hears your complaints. He hears our complaints, which you make against him. And what are we? He asking again, what are we? Who are we? He's saying we're nothing. We can't provide for you. This is what a righteous man will tell you. I'm nothing. I depend on him like you depend on him. Not follow me as I follow him. I will take care of you as he take care of me. He says your complaints are not against us, but it's against Yahuwah. Make sure you understand. If the Most High give me something to bring out on this channel, you come and make a complaint, you go against it. I have to do what he told me to do. And your complaints is against him. Why are you always talking about this? This is what he told me to say. This is what he said. This is what he told me. This is what I heard. Then Moshe spoke to Aaron. Say to all the congregation of the children of Yasharal, come near before Yahuwah, for he has heard your complaints. Now it came to pass, Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the children of Yasharal that they looked toward the wilderness. Look at this. They saw signs, miracles, wonders. It wasn't enough. Another point. We're going to see signs. We've already seen signs and are still seeing signs today. We were in America. This family, I showed my family a sign in the borders. And this sign, it was for us to see and understand and know it. And the people here, they didn't even see it. And I tell them about the sign that happened in 2013. These people here didn't see it. And I'm like, how did you not see it? I was in America and I saw it. It was for us. It wasn't for them. Listen. And I brought this sign out. Look up the snowfall that hit Egypt in 2013. That was a sign. I told my family, we was in America. Look at this. This is our sign. It hadn't snowed in Egypt in 100 years. And he's given us many signs. You just have to have two eyes to see these signs. He says, you will look to the wilderness and behold, the splendor of Yahuwah will appear in the cloud. This is what will happen again. We will look and behold, the appearance of Yahuwah will appear in the clouds. This is something none of us have yet seen. It's not time yet. But this is something that will happen again. Once again, it will happen in the wilderness. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe saying, I've heard the complaints of the children of Yasharal. Speak to them, saying, at twilight you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah, your mighty one. See, he does things for us, and we don't even know who's doing it. He speaks things to us, we do it, we don't know who's speaking. Come out of her, my people. We don't know who's speaking. So it was, quail came down at evening and covered the camp. And in the morning, the dew lay all around the camp. And when the layer of dew lifted, there on the surface of the wilderness, on the surface, it's on the ground. Make sure I brought this out before. It's on the ground. Was a small round substance, as fine as frost on the ground. You have to pick this up and eat it. For those that's within in the borders, when it's time, you're going to have to pick this up off the ground and eat it. So when the children of Yasharal saw it, they said to one another, Iddah. It ought to be Iddah. What is this? What is it? This is what they were saying. For they did not know what it was. So this is what they called it. They never saw this. And Moshe said to them, this is bread which Yahuwah is giving you to eat. Now, We're going to hunger in the wilderness. But the Most High, just like he fed them, he's going to feed us. But while you're hungering, while you're in the midst of your hunger, make sure not to complain. Make sure you remember this story. Make sure you don't repeat. Be Moshe. Be Aaron. They didn't complain. Be Joshua. They didn't complain. This is the thing which Yahuwah had commanded. Let every man gather it according to one's need. 1 omer for each person according to the number of persons. Let every man take for those who are in his tent. Who are in his tent. In the wilderness, we will need tents. We shouldn't have to, broadcast this, but this is what they had. We will repeat the same action. You want to know what the wilderness is going to be like? Here it is. Our map is in the scripture. Exodus 17, 1 through 7. Then all the assembly of the children of Yasharal set out on their journey from the wilderness of Sin according to the commandment of Yahuwah. We move according to the commandment. We don't move on our own. This is very, very important. Do not move if the Most High didn't tell you to move. And our people moving all over the place. We move here. This is what he showed my wife. They moved there. They moved here. They moved there. And my wife said something. And they said, let's go back where we came from. And that's just what they did. They went back to where they came from. Back to Babylon. So we move according to the Most High. The Most High not going to tell us to come out of her and then go back into her. Let me tell you, you wicked. You must sadly mistaken. You are wicked. You're weak and wicked. And I hate to say it this way, but it has to be told. You cannot tell anyone the Most High told you go back to Babylon. And then we have other weak people have conversations with these weak people. And it could be new people coming into the truth. We all, let me say this. We all were in a certain place. We all started the same walk. Some of us, he didn't wake us all up at the exact same time. And then when we wake up, our journeys are different. Our journeys are different. Your schedule may not have been like my schedule. My schedule, even in America, it was set where I could spend an awful lot of time studying. That was my schedule. And then when we came within the borders, I spent the most time in my life studying scriptures I've ever studied in the borders. So you haven't studied the way I've studied. So you get these people that just come to the knowledge of the truth. They're talking to these people that's weak, that went back. And they're speaking the same language and they understand each other. And so just because two weak people see things the same way doesn't mean they're right. See, the children of Yasharal that was in the wilderness, they complained. They all was on the same level. Oh, if we had died in Egypt. You read it? You saw it? So all of them was on the same page? That was many. We're talking many. They were right. And the 4 were wrong? No. Remember, righteousness come in small numbers, not large numbers. So they move according to the commandment of Yahuwah and camped in Rephidim. So you can go back and mark every place they went. This is what we did. One of the first things we did, I mapped this thing out. I have in my book, in my studies, the map of this journey and the stops that were made. I had to map this thing out. Scripture by scripture, verse by verse. And I told my family, this will be us. So we don't be caught by surprise. We need to know all the places they kept. When we get to Rephidim, all right, this is Rephidim. But there was no water for the people to drink. Remember, they didn't have water. Therefore, the people contend, with Moshe and said, give us water that we may drink. Moshe said to them, why do you contend with me? Why do you tempt Yahuwah? He's telling them, I am nothing and you're doing this. Why are you doing this thing? And why are you tempting the Most High? Don't you know I told you, go back and read. They were told that the Most High was going to test them. They knew that he was going to test them. How is it we can know he's going to test us, and then when he tests us, we question the test? We don't like the test. And the people thirst. They thirst there for water, and the people complained against Moshe and said, why is it you have brought us up out of Egypt to kill us? Here they go again. Here are the weak people again. Brought us out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst. These people were weak. They saw the Most High splendor and power. They saw it. And they forgot it. They saw it and forgot it. And they were thinking as if they were in a bad situation. There was no way out. This is the message. Things look very bad for them. It looked like they were in a bad, horrible position. If you would have looked at them from the outside, you would be saying these people are crazy. And here we are again, camping, living on the edge of the wilderness, waiting for this journey. So Moshe cried out to Yahuwah saying, what shall I do to this people? For they, look at this, for they almost ready to stone me. You see this? Let me tell you something. If I open myself up to everyone, they would be ready to kill me. They would be ready to stone me. They would be ready to, this is what he had to go through. And this is one of the reasons why the Most High, he doesn't want us, creating no community. This is not in his plan. This is not what he showed me. This creates problems. See, on here, I could just block those people. But when we start camping up, I can't just block them like that. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, go on before the people and take with you some of the leaders of Yasharal. Also take in your hand your rod with which you struck the river, and go. Behold, I will stand before you on the rock of Horeb, and you will strike the rock, and the water will come out, that the people may drink. And Moshe did so in the sight of the leaders of Yasharal. So he called the name of the place Massa and Meribah, because the contention of Yasharal, they contended with him. And because they tempt Yahuwah, saying, watch what they're saying. Is Yahuwah among us or not? Our people, we had people in the borders, within the borders. They didn't know if the Most High was with them or not. And even after he told them to come out, they don't know if he told them to come out. When he asked them the question, who told you to come out? Crickets. You don't know who told you to come out? You would think I'm making this stuff up. It's a serious situation when our people don't know if he's among us or not. We can't be in the borders. Let me say it. If you're within the borders, you have to have a relationship with him. And you can't be questioning, is he among us or not? Is he with us or not? Did he tell us to come out or not? Are we going into the wilderness or not? You can't be saying these things. Is the land of Yasharal in South Africa or not? Is the land where the people over there, the Jewish people, is that the land or not? You can't be questioning these things. These are the wrong questions. These same people that saying the land of Yasharal is in South Africa, ask these people a question. Where is the wilderness? Ask them, where is the wilderness? Because this is our position. This is our birth canal. The wilderness. That's the question that must be asked. Numbers 14, 1 through 24. So all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried. And the people wept that night. Here they go. The people are crying. And today our people are crying. They're crying like babies.